So someone says something that really pisses you off. How do you deal with it? Conflict conversations can be awkward. They can be very uncomfortable, and they also don't have to be that way. Now, I have not been a good communicator for many years. I would avoid confrontation. I would just kind of like pretend whatever was happening wasn't happening rather than deal with it head on until I had to deal with it because it was actually happening. And I grew up with two parents who could start talking about the finances and end up arguing about what color the sky is. So I grew up in a household where communication did not flow easily. And I don't judge my parents for it, because the truth is communication is a real skill that requires a lot of patience and a lot of practice. So in today's video, I want to share with you 5 tools and techniques that you can use to have difficult conversations with ease, have them be productive, reach an amicable resolution, and not feel so apprehensive about having that conversation that you know you need to have. So somebody says something that triggers you, really pisses you off, and you're feeling that emotional charge. The first thing you need to do, and this is a tricky one, is have patience and just pause. Allow the person to say what they have to say. Allow them to be heard. Take it in, and then ask for a moment to just process. Take 90 seconds. Studies show that you cannot stay angry for longer than 90 seconds. You cannot hold that emotion if you are not further triggered. So give yourself those 90 seconds to just take a few deep breaths, find your center, let the anger subside, and then re-engage with the conversation. Now, I know that may sound very hard. Somebody says something to you that really pisses you off and you just wanna spit right back at them with whatever you gotta say. Pause, give yourselves at least 90 seconds. When you re-engage with the conversation, come back to it with the perspective of choosing to understand the other person rather than wanting to be understood. When you choose to understand someone and you ask questions to deepen your understanding of what they're feeling, where is this coming from, you're giving them the opportunity to be heard, to be seen, and you're now creating a space where they feel that you're receiving what is it they have to share with you, so now they will be open to hearing what you have to say. And in asking those questions and choosing to understand and actually be genuinely curious about, why are they so pissed off? Where is this really coming from? What happened? You're also giving yourself an opportunity to have greater context of what is actually triggering your friend or the person you're speaking to say this to you. What you've done to piss them off is triggering an emotion within them that may have nothing to do with you. So remember, don't take it personal and just hear and receive what they have to say. As you're listening, you have to be very real with yourself and ask the question, what can I take ownership of here? What have I done to create this feeling within this person for them to come at me in such a way? There is probably some truth to what they have to say that maybe you weren't aware of, that maybe there's something that you said or did that created a reaction with them that you can take ownership of. Now, when you're choosing to understand them and they're sharing this information with you, you can then see, okay, I got it. I understand why you feel that way. And even though it wasn't my intention, I understand that's what I did, and that's why you're feeling the way you are right now. Because often they say something that triggers us and we immediately want to react from a place of emotion, sometimes a charged emotion, because what they're saying is now triggering us. However, when we pause, we choose to understand, and then we ask ourselves, what can I take ownership of? You're now giving yourself the opportunity to process and really understand where this message is coming from. Once you've heard what this person said to you, it's important to share the impact of what it is they've said on you, because when you're able to process your emotions and actually check in and ask yourself, what is the impact of what they just said? You're now communicating from a place of feeling. You're communicating from a place of emotion. And you're now allowing the other person to know how their communication impacted you. And often, when you've given the chance to really hear someone and then you share back the impact that their comment had on you, there is now compassion and empathy in the conversation. And that is absolutely essential. Rather than have two people angry trying to prove that each person is right, when you could speak from a place of love, compassion, and understanding, you're going to have a conversation that will lead to an amicable resolution. The last step in this conversation technique is to let go of any attachment to a certain outcome. Again, it's not about being right and that person's wrong. It's the understanding that it's okay for two people to have two different perspectives. It's just a difference of opinions. There's no right or wrong there. And there's always three sides to every story: theirs, yours, and somewhere in the middle. When you choose to understand and you really listen and take ownership and then also share from a place of love and compassion, you are now accepting one another's perspectives. Even though you may not agree, you at least accept and understand where each other's coming from. However, if you're really attached to a certain outcome and you think it's got to go this way, or you have to be right, or you got to prove yourself, then anything but that outcome is going to leave you upset, frustrated, and disappointed. Don't be attached to a specific outcome. Be open and be willing to believe that there's a chance what that person is saying to you may be true. And if you just give yourself and the other person the space to listen, be heard, be seen, and be open to understanding one another, I promise you, you will leave that conversation having a much greater understanding of one another. You'll have an amicable resolution. And even if you don't, at least you'll have both walked away from the conversation having a better understanding of one another and maintaining that mutual respect and integrity and the friendship that you have with one another. These communication skills are some of what I have learned throughout the years of the personal development courses and the coaching that I've received. If you'd like to learn more about my coaching programs and how it can help you improve your communication, I invite you to visit zarkfatah.com. Send me an email if you'd like at z@zarkfatah, and reach out, send me a DM. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit like and subscribe. If you're watching it on Instagram, please hit like and maybe share it with someone who you feel could improve their conversations during conflicts. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And remember, pause, take some breaths, choose to understand, take ownership, share the impact of what you're hearing, and let go of the outcome. Have no attachment to how it's going to go. I promise you, you will not have to worry about any conflicting conversations ever again.